from the men of the league. Okay, now is the time where we arrive at announcing the team of the century for the Enfield Federals, and we have rugby league royalty tonight to assist us with that job, ladies and gentlemen. We have a man who played 9 seasons in the black and white of Western Suburbs, 28 test matches, 3 kangaroo tours. That's only the highlights reel, so to speak. This man was the hooker in the team of the century. Think about the many, many kids who tried to play rugby league and to try and make that great first grade level, and this fellow was the hooker in the team of the century. He helps us tonight announce the team of the century for the Enfield Federals, ladies and gentlemen, Noel Kelly.
Oh, thanks, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and others. Ciao. Well, ciao. Ciao. Thanks very much for the invitation to come over and be with the Enfield Federals. It's a funny thing, I'm not a junior in Sydney, I'm a junior in Queensland, and when I came down here, and eventually I was captain coach of the mighty Magpies in the mid-60s, and I used to wonder where they were getting all their players from, and we had some ball terrors that come through the groups, and it was always Enfield Federals or Concord United. I'd say, where are you getting these blokes, you know? And there was all the Horneries and Corner and Tony Fords and blokes with bloody ability like you've never seen, and it's so great, really, in this day and age, to see a team like the Enfield Federal, a club like the Enfield Federal, still sticking together, and it's great for everybody to mix again, and we're all getting a bit past that halfway stage, so it's always nice to go back and bound off one another and say how good we were and all that, and it's really good. You can get a free drink and a bit of tucker. That's if you sit at table number 1. Anyway, but I've had an association with West Magpies since 1961, and I'm a magpie. I'm just a born and bred magpie, black and white. Everything's black and white in our place, and I got 5 kids and grandkids, and they all still follow the Magpies, believe it or not. So anyway, and to be quite simple, it's very hard to shift from being a magpie to a tiger, and it really is. It takes a lot of shifting, I can tell you, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. However, it's my job tonight is to hand out the jumpers to these guys who've been good enough and loyal enough in this club to have it where it is today. So I'll just get on with the job I'm here for, and just say how proud I am to be of Enfield Federals as a Magpie club. Thank you.
What a great man, and as I said, 10,000 players or thereabouts have played first grade rugby league. This man in the team of the century, and we are absolutely kissed on the arse by a rainbow to have him help us with the team of the century for the Enfield Feds, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready for the team? Ladies and gentlemen, your fullback for the Enfield Feds team of the century is a man who was always going to be a superstar. But till the age of 15, it wasn't with the leather ball, it was with a cricket bat. But at the age of 15, it started to change around. This man played 123 first grade games for the great club, the Western Suburbs. In fact, no one for the Western Suburbs across all 3 grades ever scored more points for the club than this man here, 948 points in total. One of those was a field goal. I'd love to know how that happened, ladies and gentlemen. But the fullback, the family is here. He's the fullback of the team of the century. Yes, your Poppy is the fullback of the team of the century, darling. Tony Ford, well done. Tony Ford, the fullback, the number 2 for this great side, is a man who played many first grade games for Western Suburbs, Penrith Panthers, the Roosters, the Gold Coast, Manly. He played for the South Queensland Crushers. He played 4 games for New South Wales, a test match for Australia. When the draft came through, he was one of the success stories. It was one of the success stories where Phil Gould picked up this man from Western Suburbs to Penrith. His name is Graham Mackay. He turned 50 recently. He can't be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but he is the number 2 in the Enfield Federals team of the century, 2-time premiership winner with the Bradford Bulls and, of course, the Penrith Panthers. Number 3 is a man who finished equal 4th of the all-time most capped Western Suburbs Magpies, only to be having played more by Tommy Raudonikis, Keith Holman and Tedder Courtney. He sat alongside the great Trevor Cogger. This man, 176 first grade games, 223 in total for the Western Suburbs Club. He played for Cronulla, but I better know him as my father-in-law, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Smith. And probably the fittest 60-year-old you've ever met in your life. Well done, Wayne. Wayne is joined in the centres, ladies and gentlemen, by a man who played 38 first grade games. He played for Parramatta between 1978, another 11 there. He played 11 with the Penrith Panthers. He played for Western Suburbs as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's a famous surname, Kenny Hay. I didn't really think about this, but we probably needed an inside and an outside centre, given it's the team of the century. I'll let you sort that out with Wayne, Kenny. Is that right? What a team. This team would make no salary cap, I can tell you that right now. Number 5 for this proud Enfield Federals team. This fellow played 317 first grade games. He played for Lebanon, who really changed the course of the direction where they were going. 8 games for them. He played for New South Wales. He scored probably a match-winning try in the 2004 grand final where Canterbury would ultimately win it. No player has scored more points than this great man, and he represents the Enfield Federals. He can't be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but the number 5, Hazem El Masri. The 5'8" of this great team, known as the Sneak. Western Suburbs between 64 and 67, 54 first grade games. He then made a monumental move. He moved to South Sydney. Premiership after premiership after premiership would follow. He featured in that 69 game which went into Balmain, 5 games for New South Wales, 5 tests for Australia, and was deemed the best player in the game twice, in 1969 and 1967, the dual Rothmans medal winner. And to accept the award on behalf of the great Dennis Pittard is Neil Bennett from the West Archives, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Pittard is the 5'8" for the team of the century. He went to South Sydney and he took over the role of Jimmy Lyle, who was then the Test 5'8". So, Neil, you've got the honours tonight, mate. Well, this fellow here, a superstar, an absolute superstar, who made his name initially at Manly Rugby Union Club between 66 and 68. He played for St Helens and Blackwell Borough in England, 70 to 71. But then we really started to get him to know him in the rugby league community. North Sydney, 54 games, to Canterbury in 1975 to 1979, 47 games there. New South Wales, 5 games, 7 tests for Australia. He was selected as the 5'8" in the North Sydney's team of the century. Now, he was named in the Canterbury 20 greatest players of all time. There was a technicality there, but no technicalities tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This man awarded an OAM in 2000 for his services to Australian sport, and tonight he's your captain in the team of the century for the Enfield Feds. Timmy Pickup, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Timmy. Timmy, pick up the captain, ladies and gentlemen. We now move on to the number 8, which in those days was not the front row, it was the lock. And I've mentioned this fellow already, as my kids call him Uncle Rod, but between 67 and 72, 73 first grade games for the Western Suburbs Magpies. He's got a beautiful wife named Elka as well, all the way from Germany. Dankeschön, Elka. And here's a little trivia for you about Rod Smith and the Enfield Federals. This is how many games Rod Smith lost for the Enfield Federals, ladies and gentlemen. A big fat duck egg. Rod Smith, ladies and gentlemen, the lock for the team of the century. Rod, we could do with a few wins in these days. Can you come back for the Feds? The undefeated man is Rod Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been covered off already, and sadly we lost this man in May. The second row, number 9, is a man who played 10 first grade games for Western Suburbs between 65 and 69. Canterbury between 70 and 72. 50 first grade games there. Wynnum Manly back in Queensland 73, 76. Sadly, can't be denied if we lost him in May, but his good mate Gary Bond will take this on behalf of your number 9, Neville Ornery, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you too, Gary. Haven't seen this next award winner just yet, but in 1989, you recall that South Sydney won the minor premiership, but then the Canberra Raiders had other plans. They snuck through from 5th position, they won the competition, one of the greatest grand finals we'll see. But a man that was named Rookie of the Year that season, who would eventually get his own premiership. In 1995 with the Manly side, he represented Australia, a starring role in that grand final when they won in 96 I should say, 96 when they took down the Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, the second rower, number 10, for the Enfield Feds, Jim Sedaris. Well done, Jimmy. Congratulations to Jim Sedaris. Number 11. So prop forward we speak of here. Western Suburbs from 64 to 66. Eastern Suburbs, they're then known, the Roosters 67 to 68. 22 first grade games. This man is the son of a gun. He's also the son of a duck. Sid Walsh, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the son of the great Duck Walsh. I speak to a man who was captain for the most part of 2005 for the West Tigers as to why they won the competition that year. And he would tell me the story that they had been in their comfort zone for such a long time. This young kid arrived and started to blitz them at training. He was winning everything at training. I saw him recently, he's still super fit. And because he was winning everything at training, they couldn't have this youngster win everything. They started to just try and pip this young fellow. But the man who raised the standards, well, he's still there. 2005, they won that premiership. This young kid called Robbie Farah would play in that game. So many games for New South Wales. So many games for Australia, ladies and gentlemen. And this year, I think, will join the illustrious 300 club. He can't make it, as I mentioned. He's over in New Zealand, played today against the Warriors. But the hooker, ladies and gentlemen, he's never worn this number as a hooking position, but he does tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Number 12, Robbie Farah. And his godfather, Morris Farah, will accept the award on his behalf. He's a bit Benjamin Buttonish, isn't he, Robbie? He's getting fitter by the day. Alrighty. Okay, so we move on now to number 13. So the last number of our starting team for the team of the century. We go to Johnny Armstrong. So Johnny Armstrong naturally, sadly can't be here. To accept the award is Barbara Armstrong, but Johnny Armstrong, 111 first grade games. He played at Canterbury for 20. He played at the Roosters. He was a rep Sydney Colts. And Barbara, you're here to represent the Armstrong family as John Armstrong, number 13, as the prop of the team of the century. Dan Staines, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to number 14. Dan Staines was once sent off for antagonising an opposing player. The antagonised player responded, whacked Dan Staines, and Dan Staines got sent off but had to be carried off because he was on the receiving end of a whack from the number 14 team of the century player, Solomon Hamono. Solomon can't get here tonight, so he sends his apologies. To number 15 we go. Wow, this player could play. There's no question about that, and it gives you an idea of the depth of this great side. This fellow here, at the age of 15, made his way over to this great club from Christchurch in New Zealand. He was not really cracking through. He started at the Roosters, he was trying his hand, but it wasn't really going anywhere. He got demoted to the Metro Cup, thought that might have been it. A lifeline was thrown at him by South Sydney. He took that with open arms to the point where he represented New Zealand 12 times. He made his name really at Canterbury because you'll recall in 1994, whilst Canberra won the game emphatically in the end, they were on the ropes there for a little while because a bloke flew down that left wing. He ran 100 metres, or the best part of. He scored the try. He didn't get the grand final and premiership that day, but he sure did 12 months later when they defeated Manly. This man, number 15, ladies and gentlemen, a real speedster, a real try scorer, Jason Williams. So to think that you've got players like these guys not making the side, Solomon Hamono, Jason Williams, and very much our next two as well. Well done, Jace. We move on to a man who, again, sadly, we lost this man, and we lost him way too early. He was a boom superstar, an Australian school year representative, just a skillful player. You'll recall he'd score tries with a chip chase, but he'd do another one over the fullback. He saved the day for North Sydney once upon a time. It was a playoff for fifth position. There's many things we can talk about this man, but for tonight we speak about him as the number 16 in the Enfield Federals team of the century, Scott Gale, ladies and gentlemen. And we're lucky to have his brother Brett Gale here to receive it in his honour. He won the Mazda RX-7 for the try of the year in that Panasonic Cup, I recall, as well. So, Brett, just a wonderful achievement. So you should be. Well done, Brett Gale, ladies and gentlemen. Our number 17 is 7th on the Western Suburbs all-time number of games played in all grades, with 217 times he wore the black and white of Western Suburbs, the Magpies. 48 first grade games. He's the number 17. He rounds out the side as far as the players are concerned anyway. Neville Sinclair, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Nev. The final member of this team, and probably the most important, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we move on now to the coach of the Enfield Federals. An absolutely unbelievable coaching career, not just at the Enfield Federals but others, but he started this man in 1959 with South Strathfield. of course, ending with Enfield Federals finishing 1974. His win-loss ratio was unbelievable. It was win after win after win after win. During his coaching career, this man mentored many future first-grade players such as Bruce Beer, Dennis Pittard, Sid Walsh, Tony Ford, John Armstrong, John Kearns, Neville Sinclair, and of course his three sons, ladies and gentlemen, Rod, Bob and Wayne Smith, as well as Jeff Smith, as well as Larry Smith, Mick Evans, John Crow, Peter Fitzwalter, Jeff Gardner, George Morocco, Peter Lima, and two other great players in the room, including Peter Breeze and Terry Constantine. He coached the 1971 Western Suburbs SG ball team, beating South Sydney 7-2 in the final. He is the grandfather of my beautiful wife. He gave me the best advice I've ever been given. If you ask this man something, he knew it was in your gut feel. He'd say, take my advice, son, and please yourself. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he would be upstairs enjoying an old beer, celebrating alongside Neville Hornery, alongside Scotty Gale and alongside John Armstrong, representing this club, because the coach of the century is the hairs on my neck stand up, and the apple starts to work a little bit too, ladies and gentlemen, is the great, the late Alex Smith. And I'd like two of his sons, Bob and Jeff, to accept the award in his honour, please. Very proud men and just wonderful family, all in all, I must be said. I spoke about being kissed on the arse by a rainbow, marrying into this family. Wow. I will say one thing though about, I thought it was the pleasure. I played in an old boys match with Wayne once upon a time. And after the game, as you do, you have a shower. And I don't know how many people in the room have had a shower with their father-in-law. Anyone here, or son-in-law? Len, block your ears. I then found out why his nickname was Knackers. Anyway. Speaking of that, man, I might get him to say a few words. Wayne, would you like to say a few words on behalf of the team? Of the team of which your dad, you got a brother in the team, but your dad is the coach of, and of course your great self is also in the team. Well done, Wayne. Handshakes are for strangers.
Thanks, Joel. The memories are a little bit blurred because I come along a little bit later. Actually, someone said to me before, was Bob my uncle? I said, no, he's my brother. Sorry about that, Robert, but I had to get that one out. We lived in the Causeway in South Strathfield. Bob, of course, and Rod and Larry, my older brothers, and Jeff is my younger brother. I think when I was about 3, we moved west for a number of reasons. We moved out in the Parramatta area to Marylands. And of course, Bob and Rod and Larry grew up in this area and had plenty of close mates. But Enfield Feds back then, the black and white and Enfield Feds was so important to our entire family. It was important to Dad, and he really focused a lot of our life, and we were happy to be that way. Rugby league was very important to us. And even though we moved to another area, Enfield Federals remained the club that we were part of. We never thought about playing rugby league with another club in the Parramatta area. I didn't go to school with a lot of the guys I played football with. I used to run into them during football season. We'd train once a week and we'd play on the weekends. But they were really, really special memories for me. I was ball boy for several of Dad's teams. I just loved being around Enfield and rugby league. And a lot of the people that I met through Enfield are still friends of mine, people that I ended up playing with at West, and the network of people that we developed through this club was very special. I'd like to pay tribute to Dad. He's been gone about 8 years now. Everything that he did for our family and for Feds, well, it was all about giving. He was a great manager of men, and it wouldn't have mattered whether he had the best talent. He could always get the best out of people. And he did that with his 5 boys. He had one motto that my brothers would always remember, because early on he was a truck driver, so he was away a lot. He used to say, "Your mother may not always be right, but she's never wrong." So we stuck by that rule and learnt that it was better off sticking to that than visiting him down in the shed. He was a hard taskmaster at times, but he was a great dad. And I'd like to say congratulations to you guys. I feel very privileged to be considered good enough to be in this team. Thank you very much.
Well said, Wayne, and I think we're looking at a team of champions here, and I hope I give this justice because Nathan Cole's asked me to. He said, just imagine a world where the Sydney Roosters, this all-conquering Roosters, took on this sort of team in their heyday. How would it go down? And I think it may go down something like this. There's a minute and a half on the clock, and we look up on the scoreboard, and the score is 19 points to 14. It's the Roosters hanging on by 5 points. They led by 19 and right on half-time. Keary kicked the field goal to give them a bit of a buffer. They might just need it, and they'll play the ball down. Can they hold on here, the champions, the Roosters? The ball goes back away from Friend. He sends it to young Keary, who boots it, and he's latched onto it perfectly. It's going deep. It might be too deep, in fact. Forward forced to go back. He might get caught in goal. They're coming it forward. Offload to El Masri. Dangerous play, but he had to do it. El Masri, El Magic, dives into the field of play, and they've got a pulse here, the Feds. But the equation, they've got a minute 20. They've got 5 tackles up their sleeve. They've got to go 95 metres. Can they do it? This is a brutal run. Who do you look to? Of course, big Graham Mackay. He puts the helmet on and he charges forward, bites off the best part of 10 metres, and he gets them 15 metres out from their own try line. 4 tackles to go. They've got 85 metres to travel. Can they do it? Where do they go from here? Farah gets himself the dummy half now. He swings the pass away. Smith, he gets off the left foot step. He's ducking for some reason. Not sure why you're ducking, Wayne. There's no Steve Knight in this game. Just keep running, Wayne. So Wayne Smith keeps running. He gets the offload to Kenny Hayes, centre partner. He was the outside centre, was Kenny Hayes. We know he won't pass it, Kenny, so he tackles to the ground, and he's taken down 10 metres short of the halfway line. They've got 60 metres to go. 3 tackles to do it. Farah again gets the ball. He passes the ball away to Rod Smith. The offload merchant never lost. Today's not the day to lose, Rod. You've got to find a way to do this. Offload goes back to Timmy Pickup. Timmy, he looks to his half partner Pittard, and Pittard's trapped down eventually. They've got 2 tackles to go here, the Enfield Feds. Can they pull a rabbit out of the hat somehow? 40 metres out now. Hornery, he gets it now back to Nev, to Sedaris, sends it across now to City Walsh. It's hot potato stuff. It goes to Farah. Farah goes to John Armstrong. Armstrong flicks it out the back to Pittard, but they jump upon Pittard. This will be the last play. So Pittard's out of play. All signs now are pointing to the great men. Can they get the ball away now to Timmy? They play the ball back. Farah. Last play, 10 seconds to go. Here come the Enfield Feds. They're down by 5. The Roosters, best defensive team of the competition. They're clinging on. It comes away to Farah. Farah looking for Pickup. Where is he? Timmy's got the ball now. He gets through Pickup. He beats one. He gets to Tedesco. Tedesco chasing across. Grabber in the corner. Pickup, Tedesco. Pickup, and Pickup scores a try in the corner. You can't believe it. Flash scores around the grounds. Donny Mosley. Try to the Enfield Feds. Roosters 19, the Enfield Feds 18. Kick to come from the touchline. You can't believe it. Bolty, pinch me, I'm dreaming. So here they come now, 19 points to 18. They were down 18-0 on the stroke at half-time. The Keary field goal. What part does it play here? The ball in the hand of El Masri. Pressure. Some eat it, some get eaten by it. El Masri walks to the touchline. The precipice, as Ray would say. He's got the leather here. In fact, what's going on here? The ball's been taken from El Masri. What's going on here? Let's go down to the touchline now. Tony McGay, fill us in. You can't believe this, Jolie. There's been unprecedented scenes here. El Masri's kicked 30 in a row. But the coach, the super coach, has gone for the biggest gamble of his life, Alex Smith. He wants to go for Tony Ford. Pressed on the reason. Joel, I've gone up to Alex Smith, the director, asking him why has he gone for Ford over El Masri, and he said the wind is howling. It won't play into the curl of El Masri. He wants the toe poker Ford to get the job done. How's the heart rate, Tone? So the clock is gone. From the eastern touchline, the heavy leather ball, 19 points to 18 forward. His family in attendance to win this championship match. He moves down. You can feel the heart rate pounding through his chest. Ford, just steely determination. He's got to kick this. It was going to El Masri. Ford moves in. Right boot strikes it. Heading towards the post. It's heading towards the post. He's kicked it. He's kicked it. The Enfield Federals are the champions. They have won the game from nowhere. This champion team have down a team of champions. 20 points to 19 defeat the Sydney Roosters, ladies and gentlemen. Your team, the champions. Well done, men. You can hit the showers now. Well done. Great game. We'll be back for the raffles. We'll have a bit of dessert and enjoy the rest of the night. Well done. And thanks to the great Noel Kelly as well, ladies and gentlemen.